this just in case anybody misses it. Right. All right, beautiful. Let me see. Natalie, am I pronouncing that right? In Japan, amazing. I've always wanted to go to Japan. And Jared, I'm a fourth year writing student signing in from Vancouver. Fantastic. So when you say you're a writing student, Jared, does that mean that you're studying at college or university and you're studying to be a professional writer? Welcome, Mahad. Pop in the chat. Where are you calling in from?
Hi, I'm calling in from Melbourne, Australia.
Melbourne, amazing. I'm in Newcastle, Australia.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, sorry about all the fluff around with Facebook. They blocked me in the middle of my live video.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, that sucks. All right, I've got Sarah B joining. I'm just going to give everyone, I'll start teaching in another 5 minutes. I just want to give everybody the opportunity to jump in because there's absolute gold in this masterclass. And I want to share it with as many people as possible. All right. Hey, Sarah, welcome, welcome.
Hello, hello.
How are you, lovely?
I'm doing good, thank you. How about you?
I'm amazing. You're calling in from Colorado, aren't you?
I am.
Amazing. So amazing to have you here. While we wait, Sarah's actually written with me before. Sarah, can I put you on the spot and get you to unmute yourself and share with the participants what writing with us here at Four Eagles Publishing was like for you?
As long as I can be unmuted but no camera, since I wasn't.
Of course, my love.
I was not fully expecting. This was my first. This is my second experience of being part of a multi-author book, but my first experience of actually working with an editor. And it was a world of difference working with an editor and going through the one-on-one process with you.
Yeah.
I realized my writing style. I realized I'm a much better writer than I thought I was. And I have realized that whenever I write, I need to go through an editor. That's Grammarly is what I use for like blogs. But dealing like with a book, and especially if you're talking about something that is heart-centered, like you are really sharing a piece of yourself with the world, it makes such a difference to work with someone like Taryn, and specifically Taryn, to hold your hand through that process, to be your champion, to support you, to encourage you, and to love on you as you are birthing your child, whether it's a chapter or a book or a series of books, and having that right, it's a partnership, and having that right partner. I don't have the words to like at the top of my head to explain how invaluable that is to have that support. And I've told a number of people, oh my God, I'm going to work with Taryn again, because that was one of the most amazing experiences I ever had.
Yay. I can't wait to work with you again, Sarah. Now, Sarah, I hope you don't mind me sharing, but when you first came with to me, when we were first chatting before you started writing with us, you said, I've got ADHD. I don't know if I can write. How am I going to get around this? How did you find that?
It still was a little difficult for me, because it was a matter of what's important of my story, what was maybe important to me, but doesn't add depth to the story for the reader. What I realized was that the big thing with my ADD, ADHD, and how do I compile all my thoughts? I was able to compile the thoughts. It was the tense, past, present, future tense, that was never consistent. Because that's the way my brain was working. Is either I was in the event still, or I was talking about the lessons learned, and working again one-on-one with you and going through that process and clarifying the presence, the tenses. It made everything so much smoother. I mean, everything's so much smoother. And I realized that I can organize my thoughts, but the reality is I need that extra person on my team as I'm writing, to make it clearer, because in my head it makes sense, or I think I need all of these details. And a lot of times less is more.
Yeah.
And it was right. And you were able to help weed out what was maybe, important to me, or what I thought was important to the story, but it didn't add to it.
Yeah, that's right. Beautiful. Sarah, your chapter that you wrote was absolutely amazing. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
All right, my loves, let's jump in and kick this thing off, the nonfiction writing roadmap. If you've got questions as we go along, please pop them in the chat. We are going to have a Q&A at the end, but let's do this thing. Okay. So I am going to show you how you can make the ultimate shift from struggling to write your book, feeling overwhelmed and confused as to what to do next, to make your book dream a reality. So it's really important to have a clear roadmap. And what that will do is that will allow you to have your book written sooner than you think. So stay with me until the end. And if you decide to work with me as you go on your writing journey, I'll give you the opportunity to get your hands on a special bonus that I've just added to my brand new program. And I will give you all the details at the end of this masterclass. Okay. What I want to say is, please turn off all distractions. If you can, turn off your phone. If not, turn it on silent. Minimize those sign out of Facebook, minimize those tabs. Let's be present inside of this masterclass so that we can receive all of the value that's going to be coming. So the way that I like to start this off is to do what I call the 30-minute post-it party. We are not going to spend 30 minutes in this class doing the post-it party, but I want to share with you the technique. Okay, so it's to start off your writing project or your writing journey, the 30-minute post-it party. And it's really how to create your book outline. And what we do is we get some post-its, any size, color, whatever you want, multiple colors. You take your one book idea. Now, many of you would have already come to this class with a book idea. If you have multiple books ideas, or you feel like you've got multiple books in you, that's okay. We're picking one, okay? We need to focus on one and actually do the writing of one, so that we can then go and publish and move on to the next one, right? So what you do is you grab a stack of Post-it notes and a Sharpie, a pen, a glitter pen, whatever the heck you want, right? And I want you to set a timer for 10 minutes maximum. Play some good music, do whatever it is that you need to do to get in the mood, light a candle, light some incense, whatever you want, brew your coffee, and set your timer for 10 minutes. Now, we're not doing this live, okay, but this is for you, okay? And then you just go for it. Go wild, okay? Post every idea, story, piece of content, insight, action item, expert you could potentially interview, content you've already created, interviews that you know, have done in the past, anything like that, and jot each idea or each of those pieces down onto a Post-it. Stick them all over the wall. And what this becomes is it becomes your book outline, okay? You can then organize all of these Post-it notes into phases or steps of your book. What we're doing, the whole point of this is to take away all of that overwhelm that tends to happen when we've just got a jumble of ideas in our head, and we can start to organize them into phases or steps. So grab everything that you've got, put them in a list down the wall. You know, this is chapter 1, this is chapter 2, you know, this needs to go at the end. Okay, I need to interview people around about here. And that's how you go about it. Okay. And then you, my friend, will officially have started your roadmap of your book outline. So this is just a start, but what it will do is fast track your book creation success. And it's so important to celebrate each and every little step that you take towards getting that book finally written. Not many people write books. You know, you look at books in bookshops and there's hundreds and hundreds of them in there. But when you look at the global population as a whole, very few people actually write books. And you are going to be one of them, as long as you take these steps. Okay. Now, you are in the right place today if you're excited about writing a nonfiction book that can earn you money, grow your business, and position you as the go-to expert in your niche while impacting the lives of thousands. Okay, I'm really passionate about, you know, you hear people, oh, I just wrote a book. No, you didn't just write a book. The people who read these books will be moved for years, centuries to come. Think about it. We're still reading books from Einstein, Socrates, Aristotle, people long, long dead. Oh, Mary, thank you so much. Lovely. Speak to you soon. All right. You're in the right place if you're motivated to turn your existing content into a book so you can reach even more people and work smarter, not harder. It is my belief, and fair enough, I might be biased, but it is my belief that every person in business should have a book. It acts as a marketing tool for your business. And you're in the right place if you're intrigued by the idea that you can simplify your business by writing a book and using it as a marketing tool that calls in your ideal clients all day long. Now, I am specifically talking about books in business today, but this goes for any nonfiction book. If you're here to write a memoir, this is the same thing, okay? The same structure you can use. So pop in the chat, which one are you today? Are you number 1, excited about the growth potential? Are you number 2, excited to repurpose your existing content? Are you number 3, intrigued by using a book as a marketing tool, or perhaps you're something else? Share with me in the chat, why did you join this class today? Okay, we've got a couple of number 2s here, repurposing our existing content. Yeah, it's a big one, this one, you guys, repurposing your existing content. It's, you know, if you've got a course, you can turn it into a book. If you've got a masterclass, you can turn it into a book. You know, I'm going to be turning this into a book. Obviously, I'll need to flesh it out, but easy peasy, turn it into a book. All right, it looks like most people are here for number 2. Amazing. What I want you to know is whatever your motivation, I fully support you. Okay. Now, before we go any further, you're probably wondering who the heck is this crazy woman and why should I listen to her? So before you get to know me on a personal level, let's talk it on a professional level. Let's talk about it on a personal level. I am quite a outrageous character, if you like. I like to have a lot of fun. I don't take life too seriously. I like to find the joy in everything. The only thing I do take pretty seriously is food and books. Those two things make me extremely happy. I have a very quirky sense of humor, and I'm always doing something a little bit shocking. I am married to Jason, who works in the railway here in Australia, and we have a 5-year-old daughter. Her name is Autumn. I'm originally from Africa. I was born in Zimbabwe and was forced to flee there due to political conflict, and was lucky enough to find refuge here in Australia. I am a massive animal lover. That is my dog, my French bulldog. His name is Winston. I have a 3-legged cat, some chickens and some bees, and I volunteer for the local wildlife rescue here in Australia. So I'm usually rescuing a possum or a wombat, an echidna, a glider, a bat perhaps some days. So I'm always hanging out with my animal friends as well. But who am I on a professional level? I am a book expert. I am your book nerd. So I'm a USA Today best-selling author. I've had my own work published 4 times. All of them went to international bestseller on Amazon, and one of them was a bestseller on USA Today. I have worked with over 200 authors to get their books written and published, and obviously I have many, many more in the works. It's a beautiful, beautiful process. My team and I are so good at what we do that other publishing companies hire us to consult, and they use our systems and procedures. I'm currently in conversation with Hay House about this very, very thing, because they do not do launching and marketing very well for their authors. And I'm currently consulting with them about making that better. Books for me are a way of life. I am passionate about all things books. And even though it's my work, I also enjoy reading in my spare time. My handbag has a book in it. My car has a book in it. I don't have any linen in my linen cupboard because it's full of books. I'm a little bit obsessed. I have built up 3 successful businesses, one of which included business coaching and another that offers digital marketing services. And I really know how to leverage the power of a book to boost business. So that is a little bit about me on a professional level. And I want you now to come into this space of imagining. Can you imagine what it would feel like if you became, or when you become, a best-selling author? Has anyone here actually published before? Pop it in the chat. Have you published your work before? Yes or no? Okay, so we've got some no's. How about we change the no's to a not yet? Not yet, I haven't. Amazing. Okay, so what I want you to know as well is writing and publishing a book is the single most powerful way to gain instant credibility, visibility, and authority. And this comes down to, if you think way back in the day, you know, when books were first coming out, the only people who published books were the very, very important people in society, the very, very intelligent people, the wealthy people, the people who were considered to be special enough to warrant that elusive thing. Luckily for us nowadays, it is a lot more easy to write and publish our books due to technology. However, that standing in society still remains. As soon as you say, I'm an author, people automatically think that you're amazing at what you do, and that they lean in, they want to listen to you, and you are amazing at what you do. Okay, books just solidify this. So if you're anything like me and like to know where we're going at all times, let me take you through a quick roadmap of our masterclass. So you know what to expect. And if you like what you learn with me here and you want to work with me further, I'll let you know how you can do that at the end. And at the end, we're going to have a live Q&A. So save your questions or pop them in the chat because I'm going to get to as many as I can. All right. So let's get to it. We're going to look at solid foundations. We're going to discover the 3 foundations critical to the success of your book. We're going to look at your title and description and learn how to create them for your book because these are really important. These are one of the main things that cause people to actually purchase or even to pick your book up off the shelf. And the third thing that we're going to look at today is content creation. We're going to discover the structure that you need to write an amazing book and how to gather content to put in it. Right, let's jump into solid foundations. All right. Creating solid foundations is critical for the success of your book. We can't just jump in and write and hope for the best. We really need to do some groundwork in order for it to be successful. This is the bit that you need to take care of before you even start to write. Doing so will ensure that you see amazing results. And just like everything, failing to do so will mean that you have little hope for success and you'll just make it that much harder for yourself. And the first thing that I need you to understand is why you want to write a book. Now, you may think that you know why you want to write a book, but bear with me because this exercise will help you uncover some even deeper reasons why you want to write a book. Now, some reasons for writing your book may include one or a combination of these. You want to make more money and so have financial freedom. You want to inspire, impact, and ignite others through sharing your story and your message. You may want to increase your visibility and credibility. You want to stand out in your field and become known as an expert in your niche. You want to become a best-selling author and thus be more respected, whether that's in your business or in society or your family maybe, or maybe just for yourself. Or it may be that writing is a creative outlet for you. So it can be in one or more of these, and there is no right or wrong, okay? Take a moment now to share in the chat your why for wanting to write your book. Why do you want to write your book? If you don't want to share, that's okay, but in the sharing, we help to open up the conversation and the storytelling. I'll share with you my why for when I was writing my first piece of writing that I published. I wasn't writing for business. I wasn't writing for any other particular thing than I needed to heal a part of myself, the story from Africa where I got PTSD, chronic anxiety, and major depression from all the political violence that I experienced. And I wrote for me. I wasn't writing for any other reason. And then the second time that I got published, it was for business. Yeah, increasing that credibility, the creative outlet, creating a lasting legacy. Yes, Mahad. This is something that, again, I'm super passionate about. Four Eagles Publishing is actually going to be opening up a initiative where we are going to be going into the old age homes and ghostwriting memoirs for the residents there so that they can publish and have something that lasts for their family so that these stories can be told. It's a very, very powerful, very, very special thing. Okay. The other thing that we need to look at is we need to understand who you are writing for. Okay. Who you are writing for. Who is the person that you actually want to read your book? You need to understand this person on a really deep level. It's a very similar process to working out your ideal client avatar for business, but in this case, it's your ideal reader avatar. Your ideal reader avatar. So some things that we may want to consider, are they male or female? Could be both, could be non-gender specific. How old are they? You know, are you writing for someone in their 60s, or are you writing for teenagers? Are you writing for someone in young adulthood? What kind of job do they have? Are they self-employed? Are you writing for other entrepreneurs? Are you writing for people in the finance industry? Are you writing for lawyers? You need to understand what's important to them. What are they struggling with? What language do they use to describe their problem? How do they speak in everyday life? Do they have a sense of humor? So obviously, when you're writing, if you're writing for people who don't necessarily have a sense of humor, you're not going to pack that book full of your best punchlines, are you? Do they swear or cuss, as they say in America? So I have been known to swear occasionally in my published work, and that's because I do in normal everyday life, and the people who relate to me, they're okay with that. But for example, if you're writing a Christian book or writing for people who are quite religious, maybe it's best to leave that out. This is why this is so important. Do they like lots of visual cues, or are they more of a words person? Right? And the reason I ask this is, if they're more of a visual people, well, you're going to want to include infographics. You're going to want to include a few photos. You're going to want to include, you know, a few exercises. But if they're more of a words person, then you're just going to put the majority of words in there rather than those other things. Do they like exercises, or do they prefer gathering knowledge? You know, if they like exercises, perhaps at the end of your chapters, you're going to put a little exercise for them to do. Like, right, now put this into practice. A great example book that does exercises is The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. He puts an exercise at the end of every chapter. Or if they prefer gathering knowledge, then you're just going to have your chapters as is. Okay. And really, the list can go on and on and on. You're really wanting to understand the person who you are writing for, because knowing these things will help you determine the style of your cover, how to title and write the description for your book, and the style with which you write your book. Okay. So do you understand who you are writing for, or do you feel you could do a bit more work on this? Share it in the chat. Do you understand who you are writing for, or do you feel you could do a bit more work on this? Where are you guys at? Yeah, we've got some comments coming through here. I need to do a lot more work on this. You know what? And these are a great start, these questions. Doing a lot more work on this. Currently figuring it out. Awesome. And also what I want you to hear is you're exactly where you need to be. Okay, this is not a race to the finish line. Your creative work is just that. Yeah, I think I need to do more work so my audience isn't just people like me. So I'm assuming, Jared, that you're saying that in your head, you're like, oh yeah, it's people like me. But you need to dive into, well, what does that actually mean? Right? What does that actually mean? Because I write for people like me, right? But I need to understand the ins and outs of what that means in my head when I'm saying things like that. Okay. And then we've got our research, all right? Don't go to sleep. I know it's not boring, I promise. This is really, really important, okay? We need to do our research. There are 3 questions you must know the answer to before writing. 3 questions, okay? Question number 1, is anyone actually looking for the topic that you want to write about? Question number 2, are there books that are already available on your topic? And question 3, are people actually buying those books? And if so, how much are they paying? Okay. Question 1, is anyone actually looking for the topic you want to write about? Okay, so it's all well and good that you've got a topic in your head, but if people are not searching for it, then the likelihood of you being able to sell that book is not high. So we need to do our research. And the question, are there books that are already available on your topic? We need to know this, not because if there are, we go, oh, well, I can't write on that topic. No, it's the exact opposite. If there are already books available on that topic, it means that there is a demand for it. Okay. And then question 3 comes in, because it all may be well and good that there are topics, books already available on that topic, but are people actually buying them? And if so, how much are they willing to pay for them? How much are they selling for? So research is important, so we don't end up doing loads of work that we just don't have to do, because ain't nobody got time for that. Let's get real about it. So what I suggest you do to find the answers to these questions is to use the Google Keyword Planner or the Google Keyword Tool, to use Google itself. You can look at Google Shopping. You can look on Amazon. And of course, you can look on social media. Okay. So now we've gone over the 3 critical foundations for writing your book. We can move on to creating the title and description for your book. Getting juicy now. All right. So the fact is, your title and book description are the single most important thing when it comes to actually making sales with your book. That, tied together with your cover, is what stops the scroll or stops people in a bookstore and actually gets them to pick it up off the shelf. If your book cover is looking really dodgy and really bad quality, or you just haven't thought about your ideal client, they're not going to pick it up. If your title isn't speaking directly to your ideal reader, they're not going to pick it up. If your book description is confusing and doesn't match in with the title, it's not going to sell. Okay. So whilst I'm teaching these next little bits, if you can pop in the chat, do you have a title for your book? Have you thought about this? So let's start with the book description. The only question you need to be asking yourself at this point is, why would somebody buy my book? Why would someone buy my book out of all the other hundreds and thousands of books out there? Once you know this, writing your book description will become so much easier. Now, in his book, Copywriting Secrets, written by Jim Edwards, he states that people buy for 10 main reasons. And this isn't just books. People buy anything for 10 main reasons. And this includes books. Okay, it includes books. People buy to make money. People buy to save money. They buy to save time, to avoid effort, to find comfort, to escape physical pain. They buy to escape mental pain. They buy to feel loved. They buy to feel popular, or they buy to achieve cleanliness. Okay. So you're welcome, Anjani. So those are the 10 main reasons that people buy anything. So if you are writing a book, your topic needs to do one or more of these things for your reader. It needs to either teach them how to make money, to save time, to avoid effort. So you're making something easier with whatever it is you're teaching them in your book. It needs to give them comfort. It can help them escape physical pain. So maybe you're a therapist writing a book, or a yoga teacher and you're writing a book. Mental pain. How do we move from anxiety to a more calm mind? Feel loved, or to feel popular, like they belong. Or, to achieve cleanliness. The achieve cleanliness one could be, we could get a little bit metaphysical here and go, well, maybe it's a cleanliness of the mind or the soul, or that one's more for your physical products and things to achieve cleanliness. And you want to include as many of these reasons in your book as possible to show the person reading the title and back of your book that it will get them the results that they are searching for. So think outside the box, get creative. How can you word things in such a way that it is going to communicate to people that this is what they're going to get from reading your book? I want you to take 5 minutes now to note down a minimum of 5 reasons why somebody would buy your book. Let's get a little bit of creative time happening here. A minimum of 5 reasons why someone would buy your book. I'm going to bring up that last slide again so you can have a look. People buy for 10 main reasons. Can your book help them to make more money? Can your book help them to save money? Is what you are teaching them in your book going to help them save time or to avoid effort? Is it going to give them comfort? Is what you are teaching them, the skills you're teaching them, or perhaps even just the act of reading your book going to give them some sort of comfort, to make them realize that they're not alone, perhaps? Is what you're teaching them going to help them escape physical pain or mental pain? Is it going to move them to make them feel loved or feel popular and like they belong? Once you've got a couple of ideas, I'd love for you to pop them in the chat and share with others, because in this creative thinking outside the box and sharing, we can help others spark ideas as well. Why would people buy your book? What is it going to do for them? So we just put out a recent anthology, a multi-author book project called Corporate Dropouts, with a number of authors. Anjani and Sarah, who are here today, wrote inside that book, and it was a collection of stories about women who had dropped out of corporate and had started their own business. And the reason people would buy that book would be to save them time on the journey from perhaps wanting to come out of corporate and starting their own business, to avoid effort, to find comfort, to escape physical pain, perhaps from, physical pain can really be a thing coming out of corporate, that your body is reflecting disease from perhaps some mental pain. So corporate dropouts, escape physical pain, escape mental pain, and to feel loved and to feel, maybe not popular is the right word for that book, but to feel like they belong and that they're not alone. So Corporate Dropouts really covers the majority of why people would have bought that book. All right. I'm going to move on now just because I'm wary of time, because we start a little bit late because of being blocked out of Facebook. So now we have some idea on why people would buy our book. We can combine that information with the keywords we discovered in our research. So remember the research we spoke about earlier about, are people actually writing books on this topic? Are people buying books on this topic? And your book description needs to contain the reasons why someone would buy your book. So the results they will get, and also contain your chosen keywords. Do not sacrifice the readability of your book description for the sake of trying to cram in as many words as possible, as many keywords as possible. Your description needs to be easy to read, engaging, explain the results that your reader will get after reading your book. Your book description needs to relate to the title of the book. They can't be two disconnected things. And it needs to contain keywords. Okay. So a tip here is to including dot points in your book description is a great way to showcase the results that your book will deliver to the reader. Okay. We are all very, very busy humans in modern society, and our brains are overloaded. We are overloaded. So giving dot points is a really easy way for someone to just go, oh yeah, this is the part that I want to know about. And if your dot points reflect the results, the likelihood of your ideal reader reading those and then buying the book is so much higher. Okay. The job of your book description is to get people to buy. So explain to them exactly that in an engaging and thoughtful way. Your book description is a billboard for your book. Think of it as a giant billboard on the highway in downtown Las Vegas, whatever. Your book description is selling your book along with the cover and the title. Okay. So speaking of the title, when it comes to the title of your book, it is better to be strategic than fluffy. Okay. Don't be tempted to title your book with some cute, fluffy title that only makes sense to you. Okay. Because as soon as you confuse your reader, they're not going to buy it. Okay. And not only that, it will confuse a search engine like Amazon. Amazon is just a search engine, you guys. It's a giant search engine for books and other things, other shopping things. Same as Google, same as YouTube. So when we're including keywords and really to the point, easy to understand titles, it makes it easier for you to show up. The best way to title your book is to use keywords in both the title and the subtitle. Your main title should include your main keyword, and the subtitle is like the headline for your book, if you like. Okay, both of them contain keywords. And the combination of words you choose has to be easily understood and is compelling enough for people to want to find out more. And like I've already said, the use of keywords also means that your book will show up in searches on Google and on Amazon. No keywords pretty much means you're invisible, and then you have to spend a lot of money on marketing to get visible. So if we do it right from the start, you've got way more chance of success. Okay. So let's give you an example. Let's say you're writing a book, How to Overcome Anxiety as an Entrepreneur. And after doing your research, you discover that some keywords that relate to your book are anxiety, how to overcome anxiety, tools to overcome anxiety, anxiety in starting my own business. Okay, these are just some examples. So I know that these are my keywords. I've answered those 3 questions we spoke about earlier. And the title the main title that I'm coming up with is The Anxious Entrepreneur. Yeah, Anjani's asking, is there a good website to find keywords? Yeah, so this is earlier in the masterclass, Anjani, but I would say use Google Keyword Planner. Use Google itself. Use Amazon. I actually have a different masterclass on just breaking down into this and giving you the lowdown. And it's something I teach in the Write It course, where I actually share my screen and go through and teach you exactly what you need to find. So the title here, The Anxious Entrepreneur, that's the main title. And the subtitle, a practical guide that will give you the tools you need to overcome anxiety. Okay, it may not be the sexiest title in the world. It may not be as fluffy and, you know, creative as I wanted it to be, but does it tell you exactly what it's going to give you if you are reading this? Absolutely. A practical guide. Yep, tick, great. It's going to give me things that I can actually go and do. It's going to give me the tools, amazing, that I need to overcome anxiety as an anxious entrepreneur. So if we hop back to those keywords, I've included anxiety, overcome anxiety, and entrepreneur in there. So I'm covering off a fair few keyword categories there. Does that make sense? Okay, so we have our title, subtitle, and solid foundations. So now it's time to actually get to the planning, a planning of your book. And today is all about nonfiction books, and the content for this type of book comes from answering questions. Okay, content for nonfiction books comes from answering questions in a very creative, roundabout type of way. Okay, some questions to ask yourself and then find answers to relating to your topic are who, what, where, when, why, how, and frequently asked questions. Okay, we're going right back to English basics here, you guys. It may seem super simple, but once we can do our research and identify, you know, who are we talking to? What are they wanting answers to? Where are they looking for answers to? Or where are they wanting to go? When are they wanting to do it by? Why are they doing something? How do they, like, are they looking for how to do something? And frequently ask questions. Okay, so again, I teach this inside my Write It course, but this really breaks it down. You could go into Google and go, let's say, you know, anxiety, the top 20 questions people are asking about anxiety. You can find content for your book in there. Google will throw up so much stuff for you. Okay. You could even go on Amazon and start typing in the Amazon search bar, anxiety, and it will make suggestions, okay, of what people are actually searching for. So you can go, okay, well, people are really searching for alternative techniques to overcome anxiety. So maybe you want to include an entire chapter in your book, alternative techniques to overcoming anxiety. How-to questions. So if you are writing a book teaching people how to, for example, write their nonfiction book, let's use me as an example. I would type into Google how to write a nonfiction book, and it will throw up heaps of articles and questions that people have asked, and I can use that as information and go, okay, well, this is what people are looking for. This is, you know, there's several hundred articles written on this in this particular style, so I'm going to make mine a little bit different, but very relatable. You need to do your research. Okay. And once you have those things happening, the structure of your nonfiction book can then be mapped out. Okay. Now, a typical nonfiction book will include the following. Okay. It will include a dedication, and this is optional. Okay, so I've included some optional things here. It will include an introduction and or a foreword. And then it will obviously include your chapters, which is the fleshing out and the main meat of your content. It will include a conclusion, and then optionally, it will include helpful resources or a glossary or something like that at the end. Okay, so the dedication. Like I said, this is optional, but it's a really nice way to give thanks to those who supported you on your writing journey. It just adds that extra bit of personality and touch. And as you can tell, I am very big on introducing the personal into business. There are far too many businesses out there, or far too many relationships in society in general that are very superficial. You know, there's this very big wall that's up in front of most people saying, don't look at me, look at this over here. This is my professional stuff. But what makes you stand out from the hundreds of other book coaches or publishers or therapists, teachers, whatever it is that you do, is you and how you deliver something, how you speak, how you show up in the world. So don't forget that. This is a nice but very simple way to add it in, but it's optional. You don't have to do this. Okay. Then you've got your introduction. Now, this is the part where you introduce the reader to your book. It's like the taste testing, the entree at a 3-course meal, if you like. You will want to tell them why they need to learn what you are about to share with them, who you are, and why they should listen to you. So just like I did at the beginning of this masterclass, you say, you know, this is what you're going to learn. This is who I am, and this is why I'm good at what I do. This is why I am qualified to be sharing with you what I'm sharing with you in this book. Okay. I also mentioned that you could potentially have a foreword in your book. If you are going to choose to have a foreword, this is written by somebody else, and I will suggest that you try and get it to be written by somebody who's very well known in your industry or on the topic that you're writing about. And what it does, it just gives a little bit more credibility to you and the topic that you're writing on. Okay. And you can have both. You can have a foreword and an introduction, or you could just have one or the other, right? Then we've got your chapters. Okay. Like I said, your chapters are the main bulk of your content. And your chapters can be broken down into answering the questions that you discovered when doing your content research, or the things that people are searching for, the topics that people are searching for. Okay, one chapter, one topic, or one question, or one theme, or perhaps one time period. Okay. Next chapter is the next question, or the next topic, the next theme, the next lesson learned, the next teaching point. Okay, this is how you break them down. Little containers for each thing. It's like a bento box, right? Each chapter has its own container with its own teaching point and its own wisdom within it. And once you have that high level overview, you can put a few dot points under each chapter to make sure you cover them and to help you focus. So a great way to do this is with your post-it notes. So you can map out briefly what each chapter is about, maybe one word. So let's say we've got 5 chapters of a book, and we are going to do chapter 1 is on the mindset of business. Chapter 2 is on tools that you can use to introduce mindset into your business. Chapter 3 can be on your experience with mindset in business. Chapter 4 can be testimonials from people who have gone through your business and have had that experience with the mindset, and so on, right? And then you can put little sticky notes underneath there that have 2 or 3 dot points under that umbrella chapter topic, if you like, of things that you definitely want to include and cover off. This really helps to reduce the overwhelm. Okay. And then, of course, we've got our conclusion. Now, this can be a chapter. It doesn't have to be called conclusion, but of course, you can title it conclusion if you want. You can call it epilogue. You can call it summary. You can call it whatever the heck you like. Okay. But this is the part of the book where you summarize everything you have shared and the benefits that they received from reading your book. You will also want to introduce them to next steps in this part, especially if you're a business owner, such as joining your membership, joining your course, joining your Facebook group, whatever it is, coming to listen to your podcast. Do a call to action or a call to purpose. If your book is more of an inspirational thing, you can do a call to purpose. Okay. And then, of course, we've got our helpful resources. Like I said, this is optional, but it's a really cool way to provide extra value that has your reader thanking you for being such an awesome human. Okay. You may want to include a number of your own downloadable resources here. So hello, List Builder, invite them off the pages and into your digital world. Okay. So if you've got any resources that you have already created or that you can create, include them in the book as a helpful resource. Okay. Or you can share some of your favorite resources whilst crediting the creator. Okay. If you've got some really amazing books that you've read and have changed your life on this relatable topic, share them in there. You know, share the love. Or if you're also talking about a topic that uses a lot of maybe medical jargon or jargon that the average layperson doesn't know, then you could include a glossary at the end of terms that people can refer back to. Well, what does this mean? Okay. So now it is time to get writing and commit. You need to find the pockets of time in your day and schedule in dedicated writing time. These are appointments with yourself and should be treated with just as much respect as a business meeting that could result in more money in your bank, because having a book in your business can do exactly that. You need to sit your butt in the chair and write. Not feeling inspired, feel blocked, would rather be doing something else, think what you're writing is crap. Your inner critic is being a loud and insistent little bitch telling you what's the point? No one is going to read your book anyway. Sit your butt in the chair and just write. Done is better than perfect. So these are a few photos of me as I've been, you know, when I've been writing and things like that. It's not easy on some days. Some days you won't want to be doing things. That first photo there is when my daughter was sick and she just needed her mama. But I was writing to a deadline and I needed to get it done. So I was being mum, I was nurturing my daughter, and I was also doing what I needed to do. That middle photo is writer's block. I just could not find the words, but I still sat there and I still wrote. And then that last one is me procrastinating. I was taking stupid photos of myself and sending them to my friends because I was procrastinating because I just didn't feel like writing. But I was still sitting in the chair and I still got it done. Okay, you need to show up for yourself. So I am giving you full permission to do your first bad draft. If you want to call it the first bad draft, if it makes you feel better and silences that little voice that's saying, oh my God, my first draft is going to be so terrible, that's fine. Let's call it out. I am writing my first bad draft. Okay, give yourself full permission to get it out. Focus on one chapter at a time and forget about the rest. One foot, or one word rather in this case, in front of the other is how we get to the end. There is no other way. There is no other way. Unless, of course, you want to hire a ghostwriter and get them to write it for you. That's okay too. You know, I'm writing 2 books on behalf of other people at the moment. That's okay. You can do this. You absolutely can do this. So we heard from Sarah, and Sarah is still live with us. Look, there's Sarah's beautiful smiling face. Now, Sarah is an emotional intelligence and leadership coach, and she had some sessions with me when she was writing, and this is what she had to say. She said, I literally have tears in my eyes as I'm opening our edits. So grateful to be putting my story on paper and for it to be in a form that is not anger-filled and vindictive, but a clear snippet that portrays the struggle and the relief. This has been a healing process for me. Truly, thank you. So many people believe that they cannot write something amazing until they do, until they give themselves permission to just get it done. This is the beautiful Bonnie. She is the founder and CEO at Tandem Resource Solutions. And when we first spoke, she's written with me twice. She said, I'm not a writer. I can't write a story. And now she's written with me twice. She's been published twice. And she says, thank you so much for helping me believe in myself enough to write my story. So I believe in you. You can do this. Now it's time you guys started believing in yourself. Okay. And then we've got Christy. Christy is an intuitive life coach. She's also written with me twice. And she says, thank you for making the process so enjoyable and so easy. Going through and sharing a personal story is challenging. Reliving the journey as you write and getting it down onto paper in order to share it in the form of a book is an entire journey in itself. A really big heartfelt thank you, Taryn, for all your support. So what I'm saying to you guys by sharing these 3 examples is it isn't easy and sometimes it is hard, but give yourself permission. Your story is worthy of telling and just show up for yourself. Okay. So now you have discovered the 3 foundations critical to the success of your book. You have learned how to create the title and description for your book. And you have developed an understanding of the structure you need to write an amazing book and how to gather content to put in it. So now I have a question for you. Would you like me to help you map out the success roadmap for your unique book and walk you through the ins and outs of publishing and launching it? You've got 2 options. Okay, you've got option 1. You could try to write your book on your own without guidance, but you'll run the big risk of being in the same place this time next year with a big open loop and no book to make you money. Or you've got option 2. You can 100% commit to writing your book using a proven roadmap. So I want to invite you to come and play with us in Write It. Write It is the only intimate writing program of its kind that not only shows you how to navigate the writing process and publishing options like a pro, but it also provides you with your own personalized writing roadmap and accountability. You get one-on-one time with me, okay? I am not going to let you not write this book. Your words are too important to stay just that in your head. So what will you experience in Write It? By the end of Write It, you will have stepped into the mindset of a writer and are ready to step into the next level of leadership and visibility. You will have gained clarity on who you are writing for and why, so your message can create ripple effects for those who are meant to hear it. You will have a catchy title and book description that will have people wanting to buy it now and start reading right away. You will have a completed manuscript that is ready to go through the publishing process. You will have a clear understanding of the publishing process and the easiest way to navigate it. You will also have a plan on how you're going to launch your book for the greatest success. And you will also have confidence in your ability to write and take these skills forward into all aspects of your business. It's a 6-module container. Okay, module 1 is becoming a writer. Module 2 is preparing to write. Module 3 is writing your book. Module 4 is the production process. Module 5 is the publishing process, and module 6 is your launch success. Okay. The total value for these 6 modules stands at $2,997. So the program, the Complete Writer Training Program, what is it? It's 6 training modules from becoming a writer right through to launch success. It contains videos, audios, PDF guides, swipe files, templates, everything I have in my book coaching, writing, and publishing arsenal. I'm giving it to you guys. You also get a one-on-one session with me. And of course, who doesn't love some bonuses? So bonus number 1, you get 12 weeks of live Q&A sessions with me once a week inside a private members only Facebook group, valued at $1,297. Before we go any further, I also want to share with you that, you guys, I'm not extra special, despite what I tell my husband, okay? I don't have access to exclusive experts, technology, or resources. I just have a proven roadmap that I follow every single time I write and publish a book, and that I've shared with hundreds of authors. Okay, so we've got bonus number 1, which is your 12 weeks of live Q&A sessions. Bonus number 2, pitch your bestseller status to the media. This is a masterclass, okay? We don't just want to write a book, we want as many people to hear about it as possible. Okay, pitch your bestseller status to the media. And we have a 14-day money back guarantee. If you do the work and you're still not satisfied, show me your work within 14 days of module 1 going live, and I will give you a full refund, no questions asked. Okay, 14-day money back guarantee. I always say better an oops than a what if. I'm a bit of a risk taker. I don't want to live with regret. And of course, bonus number 3, social media success tools masterclass. Okay. Social media success tools. All right. So we've got our bonuses 1, 2, and 3. The total value for this course, including the 3 bonuses, is $5,588. Okay. And I offer a money back guarantee because I'm only looking for serious action takers. So you need to show me that you gave the program a try before requesting a refund. I do this because I'm not looking for tire kickers, but true go-getters that want to dive in and really get results quickly. So like I said, if you do the work and you're still not satisfied, show me your work within 14 days of enrolling and I'll give you that refund. So you're probably thinking, right, Taryn, give us the price. And you're likely thinking that I'm going to charge thousands, like it says here. It's that good. And the results you can create for yourself are big. And when I actually told my peers in the industry about this course and what I was charging, they all were like, yeah, it needs to be at least $4,000, Taryn. However, I know my community well. Okay. And I know that although you're incredibly serious about writing and publishing a book, that price point of $5,588 might be tough for you right now. So what I did is that I cut it in half. Okay, $1,997. I'm cutting it in half. I want this program to be affordable for you. I want you to be able to enroll today. I want you to be able to jump in and get started writing your book. That's why I decided to price it much less than I probably should, but you know, let's do the thing. And of course, we've got options. We've always got options. So you've got the pay in full of $1,997, or you can do a payment plan, 3 monthly payments of $732. Okay. So if you're ready to get started, head on over to writeit.4eaglespublishing.com and sign up there today. And of course, I love my action takers. I am a big action taker myself. So if you do a pay in full bonus, you get an additional one-on-one session with me. So not only do you get the one-on-one session that you already have included in the program, you're getting 2 of them with me. My eyes, your manuscript, we are going to get this thing done. Okay. And I mentioned a special bonus at the beginning of our masterclass, and it is the How to Make More Money with Your Book masterclass. To get your hands on this bonus, all you need to do is enroll while we're still here live. Okay, we'll be moving into our Q&A session shortly. But to get this How to Make More Money with Your Book Masterclass, you will need to enroll while we're here live. Okay. Okay, so what will you overcome in Write It? Here's what you will overcome. The fear of telling your story. You'll overcome the fear of becoming more visible. You'll overcome the fear that you aren't a good writer, that no one will want to buy your book. The fear that you don't have what it takes to buy your book, to write your book rather. You'll overcome the fear that writing a book is going to take up all of your time and that you can't possibly take all of this time out to write your book. It's not true. You will overcome the fear of not knowing what to do, and you will overcome the fear of putting yourself out there. Write It is going to bust through all of those fears so that you no longer have them stopping you in your tracks. So you can get started today. One payment, pay in full, $1997, and you get that bonus one-on-one session with me, or you can do the 3 payments of $732. Head on over to writeit.4eaglespublishing.com and you can sign up there. Super easy. So a quick review of the details. I want to just give you a little bit of a walkthrough. Okay, so once you go to writeit.4eaglespublishing.com, you're going to see this. Okay, this is what it looks like. You're going to choose which option best fits you there, the 3 payments of $732 or the full payment of $1997. It'll take you to this page where you can fill in your details. And then it's going to say, you're in, woohoo! And it's going to give you the link to join the Facebook community. Okay, and get started with module 1 straight away. So heading on over to writeit.4eaglespublishing.com if you're wanting to sign up, 1 payment or 3 payments. Now, why did you show up to this masterclass today? You showed up today even though you're incredibly busy for a specific reason. I want you to remember why you showed up here today, because obviously you want to make a change, and Write It is that opportunity. Now, if you haven't signed up for Write It, you have some doubts, which we are going to cover. But perhaps you signed up today and attended today because you feel stuck. You feel completely overwhelmed by the idea of writing your own book, and you're not sure of the next best move. Perhaps you signed up because you're tired. You're exhausted from too much one-on-one work, and you want to be able to choose who you work with and when you work. And you understand that a book can help you do that in your business. Perhaps you signed up because you want more. You're intrigued by the idea that you can simplify and elevate your business by writing a book and utilizing it as a marketing tool. Or perhaps you've got a really big message that you just know needs to get out into the world, and that can really accelerate your business. And like I said, you might have doubts. I get it. Maybe you're saying, I want to write a book, but I don't know if I have a good enough idea for a book. That's why we have the one-on-one book coaching and the Q&A sessions inside of Write It, so that we can go through your ideas. We can really flesh it out, and I can support you in going, hey, this is what we need to do. This is what works. Let's do it together. Maybe your doubt is, I don't have time to write a book right now. I'm too busy. As this little calendar note says, yeah, life is short, do stuff that matters. Okay, in Write It, we will take an in-depth view of your current lifestyle and where to find the pockets of time in your day. Okay, I run 3 businesses. I've got global clients. I have a 5-year-old daughter who is often sick. I have a husband who works away a lot. And yet I still manage to find time to write. It is absolutely possible. Okay. You don't have to lock yourself in a cabin in the woods for 3 months to write a book. Perhaps your little voice is saying, I'm not a very good writer. Can I still write a book? Write It will help you find your unique writing style. There is no right way to write. And it's going to give you the tools and techniques to become a master storyteller and a master writer. This one's a big one. The thought of sharing my story and telling my truth scares me. I'm not sure that I can do it. What I want to say to you is that you are worthy. You are worthy of telling your story. Okay. And that fear is real, but it's something that we work through together. Okay. So this is a slide you obviously know well by now in this masterclass. You can get started today for one payment of $1997 or 3 payments of $732. Just head on over to writeit.4eaglespublishing.com. Okay, so what are you waiting for? Now is the time. We're going to go into a live Q&A, and I don't want you to miss out on that timely bonus, the How to Make More Money with Your Book Masterclass. Go to writeit.4eaglespublishing.com right now. Don't wait, and let's dive into the Q&A. Remember, to get that masterclass, you do need to sign up while we're still live here on the training. Let's head on over to the Q&A. Can we pop some questions in the chat there, please? And I'm just going to scroll through the group chat here that we were having with our writers, because a load of questions came up there and I'd love to answer them for you. Okay, so people have been asking, I've been working creatively for some years on a memoir. I'm hoping to find structure through this class and to understand how to then edit or add into my current writing. So we did cover structure of a nonfiction book in this masterclass, but how to edit. Please get your editing done by a professional editor. Do not get your editing done by your friend's daughter whilst they're on a camping trip. Don't laugh. I've literally had a manuscript come across my desk where they were like, oh yeah, it's ready for marketing. And they'd already published. They hadn't published through me. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Assuming that they had got it edited. And I started to read this book and I was like, I can't market this. I can't market it. And I had to go back to her and say, we need to go back and edit this entire thing again. So the editing, please get it done by a professional editor. Don't do it yourself because you are too in it to see the forest for the trees. Okay. So get it done professionally. The different types of editing is something that I do teach in Write It. So you've got 3 different types of editing. You've got your structural editing, you've got your copy editing, and you've got your proofreading. And your manuscript may require all of them or just some of them. Okay. What else are the questions here? Okay, I'm interested in how you approach a new writing project. So at the beginning, remember we did the Post-it party. So whenever I have a new writing project or a new idea come up, I do take my Post-its and I have my 30-minute Post-it party. I put some good music on and I get all my ideas and all my bits and pieces that are flying around my head down onto different Post-it notes. And then after I've done that, I then organize them into different phases or different containers, if you like. And that's how I start, okay? And then, like I said, with the structure inside of this masterclass, we can then break them down into chapters and then dot points under each chapter. And we write from there, focusing on one chapter at a time, one chapter at a time. Okay, someone's asking about style tips, like what makes a book interesting? What makes a book interesting? What makes a book interesting is how you are speaking to your ideal client. And this is really, when we go back to the beginning, knowing your ideal reader. We need to know our ideal reader on a very, very intimate level so we can write and make them feel as if we are speaking directly to them. Okay, and answering those questions that they're looking for, giving them those results that they're seeking through your reading, and writing in a very conversational, down-to-earth style. Nobody wants to feel like they're reading a textbook, okay? Unless, of course, you're me. I'm one of those weird people who actually enjoys reading textbooks. What are some common editorial mistakes to avoid? I'm not sure what they mean by that, but I'm assuming that it's back to that editing thing. One of the don't get your friend to edit it. It's just simple as that. And what I will also say with your writing is don't get the opinion of too many people, because not everybody's going to like what you are writing. Ask the opinion of maybe one or two very trusted close friends. But other than that, what you have to say and how you have to say it is exactly how it needs to be said. Okay, don't dilute your message down by getting the opinion of 40 other people. And same goes for your cover design. For the love of God, please do not get your cover design concepts from your designer, post it in social media groups and say, hey, which cover design do you like better? It's just such a way to muddy the water. Please don't do that. What other questions do we have? How many chapters is suitable for a book without being too much or too little? The answer to this is there is no right answer. Okay, you can have a lead magnet book, which is 100 pages, or you can have a full-on book, which is, 500 pages, 600 pages. There's no right or wrong, as long as you are cohesively covering the topic that you want to speak about. There is no right or wrong. All right, do we have any more questions here? All right, I think that's all the questions. Do any of you still on live have any questions for me? Of course, if you're watching the replay back on this and you have questions, please pop them in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer them for you. Other than that, thank you very much for being here with me today. If you want to go and check me out, you can go to foreaglespublishing.com. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Pinterest, everywhere. Of course, I'm a real person. If you want to pick up the phone and give me a call, please do. That is my number there on the screen. And if you want to send us an email, it's support@foreaglespublishing.com. My absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I look forward to seeing all of your writing be published in the future.